Hi, I'm Julia, and I am 30 and single.
How am I 23 and I still have not had my first kiss? Like it's so horrifying.
Comments said that I was gonna die alone. I should actually die and never leave my house. I should be sexually assaulted. I'm pathetic, I'm a whore, and that I was dead behind my eyes.
So I just got back from a trip where I reconnected with my childhood friends, and shockingly or not shockingly, some of our mutuals got married. Congrats to them. But what struck me was that some are also now divorced in their early 20s. It is so interesting how differently everyone approaches dating, marriage, and singlehood at all ages. And yes, although I make satire videos about exes and hookups, which I will get to, I'm part of a group that some people may call freaks who's never had a boyfriend in her 20s. How many times did I think that there was something wrong with me? I lost count. Did I get bombastic side eyes? Yes. Which really makes me empathize with this girl.
I was like 22, 21. I was like, haha, it's kind of cute, kind of quirky. Like now it's getting scary. Like I don't see it changing anytime soon. I just keep getting older. I'm gonna be so old and I'm gonna have to tell somebody like, yeah, I've never done this before. I'm so humiliated.
Who was brave enough to share her experience, but got her story twisted by other media outlets.
When I tell you my jaw dropped, like I clicked on it and I was like, the headline of this article is, I'm 23 and I'm humiliated because I still haven't had my first kiss. Here's what's holding me back. Why are you guys gonna do me like that? That was like not how I said it in my video.
Interestingly enough, singlehood is not just a rising pattern for women, but for the whole nation.
I don't have a boyfriend and I don't want it.
So let us talk about how in the age you could swipe on 1,000 men on an app, where 10-year-olds dominate Sephora.
You have the mini glow recipe like blueberry cleanser and stuff.
AI Drake sounds more Drake than Drake.
I need to focus on myself.
The internet still freaks out over a 23-year-old who's never kissed a boy. We'll chat about male validation, why more and more girls are single, hookup culture, the loneliness epidemic, and how to be alone but not lonely if you choose to be single.
Yeah, I am single, but I'm single by choice.
How many people have you kissed?
I have never kissed a boy.
Never?
Never.
Never been kissed. When the TikTok first came up to me on my For You page, I was actually really happy to see more and more girls opening up about their singlehood.
The incredible side of being single is not spoken about anywhere near enough.
Before the age of TikTok and vulnerable YouTubers, I grew up constantly worrying that there was something legitimately wrong with me because I had my first kiss super late. And it was terrible because A, I did not expect it in a bad way, aka zero consent, and B, I didn't even like the guy, so major ick. So immediately, I felt crushed. For throughout middle school, high school, and college, I had the impression that a kiss is supposed to be so special, so cute and so romantic and magical and dreamy, until when it actually happened with the wrong person, I was legit so sad. I was like, is this all there is?
Was it good?
It was decent.
It was really bad.
Horrible.
Traumatizing to say the very least when the guy tried it again after I pushed him away. But safe to say, I literally thought I was not cut out for romantic experiences and that kisses are supposed to be gross.
As if.
A lot of time.
A lot of tongue was just too much.
His lips were really dry and kind of crusty.
So honestly, props to all the women out there who are willing to be patient to be intimate with the right people. Because guess who did not want to kiss anybody for the rest of her life for several months straight? We live in a fast food culture society where everything is about efficiency. Getting your meal ASAP, getting your first job ASAP, getting your first promotion ASAP, getting your first boyfriend ASAP, getting your first kiss ASAP.
I am in love with you.
It is so easy to feel left behind when every single thing has a ticking timer. But why does it feel especially stressful to be single at a certain age as a girl? Several factors. First, a woman's biological clock for childbirth runs a lot faster. Second, the cultural expectations for women to bear children. And third, the ingrained norm of male validation. While the first two are just as important factors, I want to take a moment and discuss the third, male validation. This is something I definitely struggle with myself because when you're feeling low or dealing with a heartbreak, it feels great when a guy tells you how gorgeous and amazing you are, give you all the attention and compliments that could be addicting.
Look who's back.
For both genders alike, a lot of people get into relationships or date not because the other person will help them grow as a better person, not because they genuinely love the other person as they are, but because the other person validates them in some form of way. Whether it's because the other person is really attractive, wealthy, influential, or so on. So validation from them is so much more flattering and addicting. And that is an extremely dangerous zone. Because the only person who can give you the validation you need, not just want, is yourself. Only you know your true self from birth to now. Other people's perception of you will always be a reflection of their experiences and what you project out.
These girls were looking and going like, at my funky trousers.
So the validation you seek will never truly be fulfilled externally. And wouldn't it be silly to hand your worth over to someone else when you can elevate that to infinite heights yourself? And this,
I think we should break up.
what? Is part of the reason that singlehood is trending. It is not the 1920s anymore. And women are not just someone's girlfriend, someone's wife, someone's mother, someone's daughter. We have names and we can be happily defined through our own terms and not by our relationship with others. From the start of time, women are being defined by their relationship with others. If a girl has a boyfriend, she is perceived as successful, that she is desired by the opposite sex, and if she doesn't, she should be on the hunt for one as expected from her. Which is why at a certain age when the girl has never had a boyfriend, a lot of these standards and pressures start to make her panic. Am I not attractive enough? Am I not worthy? And so on. But as discussed earlier, for the brave women who saw through the game of appealing to male validation, choosing to be in a healthy singlehood with yourself is just as great as choosing to be in a healthy relationship with someone else. Over the past few decades, there has been a noteworthy increase in the number of adults in their 30s deciding to stay single. The share of never married women in the US increased 20% over the past decade, according to Wells Fargo's analysis of US Department of Commerce data. Nearly 118 million Americans, or about 46% of those over 18 years old, are single, according to the US Census Bureau. And that number is much higher for women at 52%.
I'm having a relationship with my pizza.
While the pay gap continues where women in the US earn about 83 cents to the dollar up to men, the rise of education level and financial capabilities of the millennial and Gen Z women allowed a lot of us to remove the financial pressure to find a partner ASAP. Quote, women don't need to be in long-term relationships. They don't need to be married. They'd rather go to brunch with friends than have a horrible date, said Greg Matos, a couple and family psychologist. I can resonate. Yes, 100%. Matos wrote the article, What is Behind the Rise of Lonely Single Men, which states that over the last 30 years, men have become a larger portion of that growing group of long-term single people. And from the many reasons, the most outstanding one is dating apps. Dating apps, like the fast culture we live in, is the ultimate fast food version of relationships. Overwhelmingly sensational, addictive, fast, lack nutrients, they facilitate the rise of hookup culture and gamify the experience of dating, where users are dehumanized and reduced to just a number, and an endless supply awaits for a growing demand of newness and validation from the opposite sex.
I realized that in the past, I used dating apps as a crutch, as a source of validation.
That if you work hard enough from your sofa, you will find the person, and then when you meet up, it all works out from there.
Zero judgment here, for I think it's a personal preference and it is a powerful tool. But I personally am not the biggest fan of dating apps or hookup culture, for I think, yes, they are super helpful for connecting different individuals, but there are also a lot of ways in that they diminish the value of building meaningful relationships. And could be dangerous, which is why my bathroom hookup comedy series on TikTok is entertaining to so many, because the red flags in the videos are just so absurdly obvious. Yet for many who are actually in the situation, it's so hard to see through the red flags when stuck in a malicious cycle in believing that being alone is not okay and choosing a toxic relationship over none. Which is why it is amazing how more and more of the internet is normalizing being a single woman at all ages, reducing the shame for women to be single, especially when they age.
Aren't rushing or settling to meet someone because some internet troll is telling them that they're gonna die alone.
And with that, I want to talk about the art of being alone, not lonely. Being with the wrong person could make you feel lonelier than you ever will be alone. And this is coming from experience, not just for dating, but also for friendship. Have you ever been in a group setting where you don't feel valued, seen, or just having zero common interest?
Get in, loser, we're going shopping.
Kind of like trying to fit into a group in high school where deep down you know you have zero genuine connection with. And that is tiring. Life is way too short to be spending time with people you don't like and pretending to like or care about things you don't care about. And it is freeing to know that out of 8 billion people on this planet, at least one person will resonate with you. And that is you. This is not about cutting all social interactions off and only spending time with yourself, but valuing time with yourself just as much as with other people. Because guess who's going to spend the longest time with you in your precious lifetime? You, yourself. So I think it is highly valuable, if not essential, to be able to spend time comfortably by yourself, which does not equate to loneliness just because you're alone. When you need to be with others and are alone, that is loneliness. But when you want to be alone and are peacefully alone, that is solitude. Without needing to adhere or please any outside perceptions of you, being alone is when you are the most free to explore and be your fullest true self. It is the best time to dream big without fearing other people's judgment, to reflect on and embrace all the growth you've had, to pick up the skill or hobby you always wished to try, to treat yourself to a cute dinner or a nice activity. When you're truly so happy with yourself, you don't need to wait for someone else to come validate you with attention. You already know that you are beautiful, smart, kind, and destined for wonderful things. And your time is filled up by the amazing things you are truly passionate about. That you don't have time to worry about negative comments or snarky side eyes for why you still don't have a boyfriend or never kissed a boy. It all becomes so trivial. So remember that you always had and will have that power, the freedom to be uniquely you, with someone or alone.